Smells like 1991. Hey, what's good guys? My name is Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here, man. This right here, man. Man. Back for the first time since 1991, like this, okay? Or like this. These are awesome. Now, before we get into the shoes, we do have a quick word from our sponsor. The good folks over at SoleSavy are back here supporting WearTesters once again. And what is SoleSavy, might you ask? Great question. SoleSavy is a great community of online sneaker enthusiasts that are there to help you cop for retail. So while this is not their official mission statement, it is in my head, which is retail or nothing. Everybody over there is like-minded, which is awesome. So if you are truly into sneakers, whether you're new or old into the game, it doesn't really matter. But if you're copying to rock and not to flip, then SoleSavy might be the community for you. One of the greatest parts about SoleSavy is that they actually have sneaker monitors all the time, and they're monitoring all the sites. So when something like this is in stock, you'll get a push notification, and then you can quickly add to cart, no questions asked. Or if something like this comes back into stock, and possibly this, even though that's a long shot, but just in case, you'll also get a push notification with the quick add to cart link as well. And one of my favorite features of SoleSavy is actually the community aspect. They all are in there for one main goal, and that is to converse and discuss and to share their appreciation and love for things like this, all things footwear. They also help each other out, so if one person misses a drop, maybe somebody else is able to scoop it up. They'll oop it to them for retail. Again, it's weird, but awesome. So if you are interested in joining a community just like that, all you got to do is click the link in the description box below. It'll head you over to SoleSavy.com where you can read all about it. And with that being said, I fucking love these. So this, my friends, is the Air Jordan 6 in the Carmine colorway. This is one of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th original colorway, not in sequential order, but just total. There were 5 original colorways of the Air Jordan 6. There was the black infrared, the white infrared, the September blues, the maroons, and these.
Can you tell me what Carmine means?
It's the red.
That's it? Mm-hmm. I thought there was a storytelling aspect.
Nope. But anywho, this is the first time that they've re-released in this original form, remastered form, whatever, the Nike Airs on the back, okay? I don't know if they're exactly identical to the original because I don't think they could do that. The originals, sometimes they look bubbly as in the toe, and then sometimes they look super sleek like this. This is my favorite look of them. A lot of people think that like Jordans back in the day were like mad consistent with craftsmanship and build, and they actually weren't. They were just as inconsistent as they are now, just that now we have social media to talk about it. But I actually grabbed the original retro of this shoe. I was so stoked. Do you remember this? These guys right here, man, my countdown packs from 2008. The countdown pack was an incredible thing. It was a countdown, literally, to the Air Jordan 23. And each pack combined 2 shoes out of the lineage that equaled when you added them together to 23. It was so fucking cool. Not all of them were great quality or anything like that. Some were original colorways, some were new colorways, but just the concept was so dope. But this was the first time that the shoe actually released, and you can see that they're not the same, you know what I mean? They released with that Jumpman and everything. Mine are really dingy because I wore the out of mine. I hooped in these, everything. Now, real quick, this is actually my favorite version as far as like the overall shape goes. I think that they're great. These ones are really close to it, so I love them. Like the toes are damn near identical. The only thing that I'll complain about with this guy right here, and it's not even a complaint, it's just a small little nitpick, is that I like how my soles turned, man. I know people don't like this. They're gonna look at this and be like, mm-mm. But I look at this and I'm just like, mm-hmm. It's vintage looking, man. It's really cool, but not forced vintage. Not like they came like that. Like I actually did this to these because I wore them. I wish that these looked like those 5s that we just reviewed. That look would have been so slick right here, man. I just think it would have been perfect.
You win. Perfect.
Now, as far as the actual Air Jordan 6 goes, we have some pretty trippy traction right here. They went from herringbone to nothing, and it actually did not work too badly. I know that this wasn't as good of a traction as something like Jordan 1 or even a Jordan 2 or 3. Again, that was like a smooth sole too, which is super weird. But yeah, I just really like the way that these played, except for the cushion was no bueno. Then the midsole itself is polyurethane. There is an encapsulated air sole unit in the forefoot and a visible one in the heel. And what's really cool about these is that, again, they're trying to make these like the original or as close as possible. So inside the shoe, there's a board last, and we just learned what that was last year, the fire red. So with that shoe, they did the board last too, and that's when I decided to finally look up what the hell that meant. And a board last is actually the old school way of support for a shoe because these don't have a shank or a torsion plate or anything like that like new modern shoes do. And so the board last was meant to add restricted torsion movement for a guy like MJ, which is pretty cool. There's also a polyurethane insole in there, just like the originals, which is great. It's something that has not been featured on this colorway in any of its past iterations. To me, it makes the shoes just a little bit more comfortable, and I think it's a great touch when they add that in there. Now, the materials are one of the things where, you know, everybody's like, what is it? you know? And everybody's got their own opinion as well. So like these have a mixture of leather and synthetic. The red is synthetic, the red on these is synthetic as well. And then the leather is leather on these, but they are two different types of sheen. This is glossy and this is matte. I prefer the way that this looks, but this should look really good once it's worn. These are also a little bit stiffer. Like these have a softer leather and everything, which is really interesting again, because some of the countdown packs were not that great. And this I feel like was one of the better ones. But yeah, these guys right here, just pretty stiff. This is what I imagine the 85 cut Air Jordan 1 is like, because they said that they use really thick natural leather on that shoe, and I can't get a pair because they're impossible to get. I think I need to go join SoleSavy. But that was one of the pictures of the shoes, that it's going to start off real stiff, the 85 cut, and then the more that you wear them, the more that they break in and feel like natural leather and everything. So I'm wondering if that's what this is, because it's very stiff so far. Then we have the Huarache style tongue, although it's not quite the Huarache just yet. That was the next model. Air Jordan 7 had the back and the front. And then we do have a very tall tongue. I know that some people like to complain that the tongue heights have not been great on Air Jordan 6s, at least the retros. And this one right here, I mean, it stands pretty tall. Normally when they take the product shots, they're kind of like tucked in like that. So if you actually pull it up, it's still really tall. I don't know if it's as tall as the originals, but when I pull this thing like that, it's a pretty big tongue. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, I went true to size. That's what I would recommend. If you wanted a super snug fit, you could go down half a size. However, true to size works best for me. They will be available at all retailers, including Phenom Global, starting on February 13th. And the retail price on these guys is $200, which is crazy, but I guess you gotta pay for nostalgia sometimes. However, we do have a giveaway because it's February. So we've got our new month WearTesters Discord community giveaway. We do have our own community like SoleSavy, and in our community it's also a bunch of like-minded individuals.
Yeah, so Frosted Mini Yeets ended up with...
Wait, say that again?
Frosted Mini Yeets.
I just wanted to hear you say yeet.
He ended up with 2 pairs of the Jubilee that dropped last year.
These guys right here.
Instead of trying to like make money off of them, he reached out to us and said, hey, do you think you could find this guy a home?
Of course we can, man.
So
of course we can.
We took them off his hands, and this guy is getting a pair.
So thank you to Frosted Mini Yeets for yeet. But yeah, thank you for you know, thinking of someone other than yourself, because again, that's really rare, especially in the sneaker community. So again, these guys, we purchased them from him for retail, and we're giving it away to one of our Discord community members, because everybody in our gold team tier is automatically entered into a giveaway. Everybody will win, and then once everybody does, then it gets reset and stuff. Anyhow, these guys right here are back. I'm so happy, because these started to crack on me finally.
I think it's partially due to how they're built, because you're talking about how the tongue area is that Huarache style build. But those shoes just look like they traveled across the country and got here and were like, I'm done.
I'm so tired.
Somebody else take over for me. They're
Hey,
like
man.
Literally sagging.
Look, this is what a real sneakerhead will do to their shoes, man.
No, they look
know?
like they should be a poster of some shoes like kicked off by the front door or something, being like, I went and hooped all day, I'm done.
Yeah, like this looked like an original pair almost, you know? Like Fred Savage wore these or something.
Yeah.
What is that show? Wonder Years?
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of that. Was it Wonder Years?
The Wonder Years is like before.
We can pretend that it's in
Maybe
the same
Fred
era.
Savage in The Princess Bride or something.
Maybe. Yeah, because I think Ben Savage in Boy Meets World, the first Jordan I remember seeing him wear was the 8 or the 9.
Apparently he wore Charles Barkley's shoes too. I swear I saw that in the comment section.
Yo, every kid, like Home Improvement, man, Pennies, Agassi, all that, man, the 90s was so dope, so dope. Like a lot of the shoes that I love, like, and I already loved them, I had lust over them even further, not because an athlete was wearing them, but because you'd see them on TV all the time. You'd be like, man, these are rich little kids, you know, and they're stylists and stuff, getting them all hooked up and shit. I'm sitting over here in my Payless shoes. So I was always like, man, I need a pair of Nikes. And yeah, so it was just cool. But yeah, I remember, you know, Boy Meets World, he would wear Jordans and stuff like that. I think his brother would wear like Jordans in like the movies that he was in and stuff like that too. Man,
If you had to pick a Savage brother, who would you pick?
in what way?
You could only watch their stuff. I feel like Fred has more to offer. Ben only really has Boy Meets World and then Girl Meets World.
Yeah, man, that's hard because you're talking about like my early childhood.
You just had me watch a movie,
I
that
know.
video game one.
We watched The Wizard. That is dope, man. I'd probably pick Fred because he's in newer stuff too, like Austin Powers is the Mole.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Moly.
yeah. So like I'd probably pick him based off of the amount of content.
Yeah, he has more of a catalog.
Yeah, but I do love Boy Meets World way more than Wonder Years, even though
I love Wonder Years.
Wonder Years has one of the best opening. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
intros of like an old TV show.
I'm not singing today, guys, but off camera, I'll sing it to you.
Well, you know, that song is essentially you. What
I
would
know.
you do if you sang out of tune? It's like, well, that's
Would
just
you stand up and walk out?
I thought you said you weren't
on me?
singing. She lied. But anyways, that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. Let me know if you're interested in grabbing a pair. I mean, this is kind of like one of those no-brainers. I feel like this, like look, this is the only problem that Jordan Brand has right now.
The only?
Well, it's not the only. This is one of the problems that Jordan Brand has right now is that this kind of supersedes like the rest of the stuff coming. You know
So
what I mean?
everybody's like waiting.
Yeah. So will that mean that stuff really sits? No, because resellers scoop it up. But you know, still wait, be patient. You never know.
Join SoleSavy, they'll help you out.
They will. They'll teach you everything you need to know. And again, there's the push notifications, so it's easier and all of that stuff. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Let me know how many pairs. Is it just one pair? 2 pairs I feel like is mandatory for this one because this is how they look after a little while. So you want a fresh pair. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. And until next time, guys, have a good one.